In the 21st century, TV talent shows provide entertainment for millions of viewers in Britain and billions across the globe. For over half a century, we've tuned in to see stars being born before our eyes. Now, for the first time, this series will tell the full story of how talent shows came to dominate our Saturday nights.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome. Your Saturday night starts right here.
You get to discover new talent. You get to be a part of that journey.
For that brief moment, the whole country is united in saying, wow.
We'll relive the performances that gripped the nation.
In that moment, you just go, what have we found here? A star was born.
And we'll hear from the stars who were there to see it all happen.
It's goosebumps, it's hairs on the back of the neck.
It's just mind-blowing. And that's the moment you live for.
This is the talent show story. Tonight on the Talent Show Story, Britain's Got Talent is now one of the nation's most popular shows, but we'll hear how it nearly didn't make it to our screens.
We made a pilot. ITV didn't want it, nobody wanted it.
Variety was totally forgotten, and more than just being forgotten, it was a dirty word.
We tell the story of how Simon Cowell went from music mogul to a global TV star.
Amanda, that was absolutely horrible. Just awful.
Simon's ego, it's sort of stratospheric. Doesn't really belong on this planet.
And we celebrate the very best of the very bad.
We've never heard that kind of language before.
But we start with the series that launched some of Britain's greatest entertainers and set the benchmark for all talent shows that followed. The programme that gave us television's first judging panel. Over the past decade, the all-powerful judges have become a central part of our talent show experience. There's the put-downs.
It was like torture.
The one-liners.
You've just entered the audition from hell.
And the rows.
It said Rock Week, not Rock Song Week.
In some ways, the judges have become the stars of the show, but that wasn't always the case. In the early days of the talent show, series like Opportunity Knocks were purely about celebrating new talent. Criticising the acts was strictly off limits.
My good friend Fred Perry playing on the broom, an instrument that no orchestra should long be without. Fine.
But all that would change in 1973 when ITV looked for a new show to fill its key Saturday night slot.
The BBC were killing ITV on the Saturday because the Generation Game was the huge show.
Nice to see you,
And they had to find something to dent those ratings.
A cuddly donkey.
New Faces had been a hit show in Australia where it was very much an amateur show where people could walk off the street and perform.
Welcome to New Faces, where each week the experts and you, the public, have the say of who should be the future stars of television. And here's your host for tonight, Derek Hobson.
Thank you very much indeed.
New Faces was the new kid on the block. Hipper and more streetwise than Op Knocks, it proved an instant hit with the viewers, not least because of the stars on the panel.
Mr. Michael Aspel. Tony Blackburn.
Lionel Blair.
I think when they introduced the judging panel, it was a massive moment in television history. I think that was the start of celebrity judges.
Who's your friend?
Clifford.
No.
Ah! How are you, Huey? All right?
The public hadn't seen a judging panel before, and there were news of people giving criticism to the acts to their faces.
In these days of television, one is inclined to get a bit tired of impressionists. It seems the easy way.
It was very scary to go out in front of that panel.
It does seem a bit amateurish.
It's like waiting to go and get shot or something, to be executed.
She needs to learn diction. I couldn't understand half what she was singing about.
I've always based everything I've done on the honesty of New Faces. People say they were cruel and tough. Well, no, they were just honest.
Thanks to that honesty, two particular judges were soon making a name for themselves.
I suppose you could call them the Batman and Robin of television. Mr. Tony Hatch and Mr. Mickey Most.
Two of the coolest men in the music industry, Most and Hatch, were very different from the TV personalities viewers had been used to on Saturday nights.
People were frightened to go on that show because I think they were, really tough.
No, there's too many family acts and it's not novel anymore.
They're not actually a great group. They lack a lot in musicianship.
I loved Tony Hatch. I loved Mickey Most. But I remember thinking those two are hilarious.
Would you want to say? I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. No, gentlemen, I must.
Mickey Most, still one of the greats from the music industry. I really looked up to Mickey and he inspired me.
Mickey Most was my musical hero. He was the king producer. He was amazing. And I used to watch for Mickey Most and his big curly hair.
Like Mickey Most, songwriter and producer Tony Hatch had been responsible for some of the biggest hits of the 60s and 70s.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go.
Tony Hatch, who wrote Downtown. He was the Simon Cowell of his day.
Either you laugh or you don't laugh, and I just didn't find him very funny.
Tony Hatchet Hatch, they called him. And he would sit stone-faced.
I don't think that he has got star quality.
When I started out on New Faces, I never set out to be controversial. I was just being honest.
I absolutely hated the song. There are better songs they can do than that one.
So that's how I got the nickname The Hatchet Man. Sometimes I had to be smuggled out the back door after the programme, and some of the newspapers got stuck into me as well.
Just like the talent show judges of today, the New Faces panel were the constant subject of tabloid headlines, and Tony Hatch was worried that the negative publicity could be damaging for the show.
I do remember an occasion when the Sunday Mirror ran a centre spread. On the Monday morning, I decided to go and see Lou Grade. His company owned ATV, and I said, look, you've obviously seen this, and I apologise. He said, why? He said, that is the most wonderful publicity for the show. Don't even think about leaving the show. You have to stay exactly as you are. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
I knew it'd all be down to me in the end.
As well as making stars of its judges, New Faces also launched the careers of some of Britain's most popular acts.
New Faces in the 70s really supplied British show business with all of its stars for many years.
It discovered people like Showaddy Waddy, Jim Davidson,
Roger De Courcian, Nookie Bear, Marty Kane.
Thank you very much.
Sweet Sensation.
Sweet Dreamer is just one of those things you put down to experience.
But Sweet Sensation and Showaddy Waddy would be rare musical successes for New Faces. The show's greatest legacy was left to comedy.
You dirty rat!
I was working with an act the other night and he was so bad the audience was still booing him while I was on.
Comedy almost ruled. It was the best shop window for comics who hadn't had any opportunity to be on television, maybe because of their background or their material content or not being seen, to go out there and have that shop window. And they grabbed it.
I shouldn't talk about my father in here. He's up there nice, so he is. He's getting a lead off the roof.
The most important moment of my life outside of having children or getting married was that night I won, and not only did I win it by the highest number of points ever.
Oh, let me so pity!
I got 10, 10, 10. And then they went to Tony, and Tony went,
9. 39, all right.
And I remember Arthur Askew going, Tony is a spoil sport.
39 marks for presentation.
So to get a good reaction from them was worth its weight in gold.
Well, look, I'm going to make a cup of tea. You can watch this next bit because I'm going to have to look away.
There's a tin in the office cupboard labelled Lorraine. because I've gone and got engaged again.
Victoria Wood, she was this girl who played the piano and sang songs that she'd written herself.
I always remember a verse which was, "The worst thing about this is, Richard,
He's very nice but thick.
slaps people on the back, says, call me Dick." It was those witty songs that she sings. She started then.
She was a triple threat. She played the piano, she sang, she wrote funny songs, quadruple, quintuple threat. And she was a comic. She was a great comic.
Isn't this girl got a great deal of magic, a great deal of charm? I think she's so cute-looking on the screen. She, I would think, is a female Jake Thackeray.
I remember Victoria's face when they said, "You're like a female Jake Thackeray." She wasn't very happy with that. You know, she was a one-off.
In Victoria Wood, we were very, very lucky. We'd found an absolute gem.
Anyway, that's not a wig, can I just make that clear? But the same year that I did New Faces, there was somebody else brilliant. Lenny Henry was still at school when he was invited to audition.
I was 16. It was extraordinary. I'd been sort of discovered in a disco in Dudley, and this guy wrote away to Opportunity Knocks and New Faces, and New Faces were the only ones that wrote back. So I went down there, and I bunked off school. I put together an act from jokes that I knew, from jokes people had told me, probably from jokes that I'd nicked off the telly.
He's a really new, exciting face to television, just 16 years old. Enough from me, let him express himself in 3 minutes as we bring on Mr. Lenny Henry.
Lenny started his spot, I always remember, turned away from the audience with the Mac on.
You saw the Queen on Christmas Day, then, my darling. That's my baby Jessica, that is.
And then he turned round and we had a black Frank Spencer. It took the audience at home and in the studio by absolute surprise. And I think the producers intended that to happen.
There's a lot of people out there.
Got a lot of laughs. Some because I'm black and I'm doing voices, but others because it was funny.
If you're wondering about the slightly permanent suntan, it all started when Betty got me a job as a salesman for Amber Solea. It's not funny, I only put a teaspoonful on, I can't get it off now.
I did some jokes against myself, you know, some ill-advised, some pretty pertinent. I don't apologise for them because it was the time, so my thing was direct it against myself before anybody else does.
Okay, man, let's move. We gotta get this on the road, boys.
This footage of Lenny's first ever TV appearance was only rediscovered a few years ago. It was one of many New Faces episodes believed to have been lost in the 70s, and this is the first time it's been shown on ITV since its original broadcast.
You couldn't find my first appearance on New Faces, that was it, and I've searched for years and years and years, because I've never seen it,
The missing footage had in fact been kept by another comedy legend.
Bob Monkhouse very sadly passed away, and they found all these videotapes in his cellar, because Bob was an obsessive collector of comedians and their material, and he had it all card-indexed and alphabetised. Thankfully, he had Lenny Henry's first New Faces appearance.
Went into a chemist the other day, and I said, "Pardon me, ma'am, may I have some talcum powder?" She said, "Just walk this way." I said, "If I walked that way, I wouldn't need the talcum powder."
And it was just lovely. It was lovely to see this kid sort of doing okay, you know, and I was so chuffed. I was so chuffed for him. It was amazing, amazing to watch. I think I owe everything to New Faces. I don't think I'd be anywhere near where I am without it. So it was extraordinarily important to me, that programme.
Thank you, good night.
New Faces came to an end in 1978. Although it would be revived in the 80s, this was the end of a golden era for a show that had changed the face of television.
Hello, Betty. Oh, Natalie.
Look at the talent that came out of it. I think that we found some extraordinary stuff. Really, you know, really extraordinary stuff.
I think we were ahead of our time. It's a tremendous format has been proved by the success of Britain's Got Talent and The X Factor. All those programmes really have been based on that original New Faces format. I feel very proud of that.
It's goodbye for now, but who knows, I'm sure very, very soon there'll be another talent show on British television. From all of us to all of you, goodbye.
Next, we tell the story of the talent show that 3 decades on from New Faces brought variety back to Saturday night TV.
I was totally making the show for me. That's all I was doing it for. I was so desperate to see one of those shows again.
Today, Britain's Got Talent is the biggest variety talent show on TV. Offering the winner a £100,000 prize and the chance to entertain royalty. Over 5 series, the show has become a national institution.
It's a spectacle, Britain's Got Talent. On a good night, it's extraordinary.
It's got a real heart to it, Britain's Got Talent. You know, you've got all the kids in there, the really kind of cute dancing kids, and you've got the all-lit pensioners giving it a last shot. There's a real fun about it.
Okay, relax.
We love a good laugh, we love a joke, and we like a bit of sauce.
That's a real variety entertainment show. You've dancing dogs, you've everything on it. You don't know what's going to walk on.
Today, Britain's Got Talent's blend of entertainment is hugely popular, but things could have been very different. It's a show that almost never made it onto television at all. Variety talent shows had disappeared from our screens in the 80s after the demise of series like Opportunity Knocks and New Faces.
Variety was totally forgotten, and more than just being forgotten, it was a dirty word. Despite the talent show making a comeback in the noughties, they were only open to singers.
I was watching a show called Fame Academy, and for some reason I remember thinking I'd actually like now to watch a dog act. I don't know where this thought came from. And I thought, actually, you know what, if I would like to, maybe other people would. Once I got that into my head, I thought, no, we've got to make this show. Because I was a fan of Opportunity Knocks and New Faces, and so to be able to update that sort of tradition, well, that was a buzz, it really was.
Simon Cowell pitched his new idea to ITV, who decided to test it out in the studio.
We went ahead with the pilot of Got Talent, and Paul O'Grady was the host. And the judges were Fern Britton, Simon, and Piers Morgan.
We set it in a studio, we had all the acts in the audience, and it was like with an old-fashioned scoreboard initially.
This is the first time the pilot episode has ever been shown on TV.
The most hilarious people started coming out, and in amongst them, yeah, there was some good stuff and there was some really seriously wacky.
The magic act was bad. The dancing was hideous.
I was totally making the show for me. That's all I was doing it for. I was just so desperate to see one of those shows again.
What's the matter? I should cut your fingernails. This man came out with a sort of cement mixer on his head. Fern Britton was laughing so much she just couldn't speak. She just had tears pouring down her face. This show's just hilarious. I mean, this show is just brilliant.
I'm going to give presentation 3, but 2 of those marks were for the cement mixer.
Despite the promise of this new idea, TV bosses were still worried about putting variety back on the box.
ITV didn't want it, nobody wanted it. But somebody at NBC in America had heard that I was making a pilot and met with me in Los Angeles, and they literally bought the show in the room. And then because it did one in America, then I sold it back to England.
When Britain's Got Talent eventually opened its doors for business in 2007, 50,000 people were desperate to take part.
Everyone in Britain thinks they have a secret talent. Most of them are wrong.
For the first time since the 80s, viewers were treated to more than just singers. Like the talent shows of yesteryear, anything went.
On the wall? Have you got no sense at all? Don't you know that wall's being plastered? Now you're stuck, you stupid spider.
You don't mind if I nick that one, do you? Cheers.
But it wasn't just the variety of acts that were a throwback to the past.
Nice to see you. Oh, it's going.
Just came to my head, it would be fantastic to have these buzzers. These big X's. It's quite sort of cartoony, and it's quite rude, and it's different.
The buzzer harked back to The Gong Show, an American talent series from the 70s.
Larry Trumbo!
The Gong Show was a show where you started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to get off.
It seems the power to stop an act in its tracks was an appealing notion for Simon Cowell.
I mean, Simon Cowell really does think he's an emperor. You know, he thinks he's got this red buzzer, which is like Nero's. You know, Simon could actually lower people into a bowl of tarantulas. He'd probably do it.
Oh well, Britain hasn't got talent. See everybody. Bye-bye. We love doing Britain's Got Talent, because you just don't know what's coming next. Honestly, you don't.
Thanks to the show's open door policy, the weird and wonderful all got their moment in the spotlight.
There was this woman who was about my nan's age. She brought her neighbour on, who balanced some paving slabs on his back, and she got a sledgehammer and smashed them on his back. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything since, to be fair.
It's more dangerous, Britain's Got Talent, than any other one, because there's lots of other things involved. Knives, chainsaws, fire.
If this goes wrong and we're stood here, I'm going to be a witness at a trial. Do you know what I mean?
Good acts, bad acts, eccentric acts, whatever. Together, they encapsulate what Britain is.
And of course, Britain is also a nation of animal lovers. Pets were a much-loved yet long-forgotten part of talent show history.
Well, I think possibly they're just that much more intelligent than the critics think they are. I think they could do a lot more than they do, those dogs.
In 1973, Harold Gumm and his singing dog Jack entered TV folklore by winning Opportunity Knocks.
I think he had the dog by the knackers, you know. He must have done, because how else do you get a dog to sing like that? Hilarious.
One man and his dog triumphed in the public vote, beating future Heidi High star Sue Pollard along the way. Thanks to Britain's Got Talent, performing pets are back.
The animal things make me laugh the most. I live for those moments, I don't know what it is.
I love the pet section, because animals are animals and they've never been on a stage 9 times out of 10. They do exactly what they want.
It's like a zoo backstage as well. You've got ferrets, dogs...
all dumping away and
cats.
pumping. Get your catching hands at the ready.
I live to find a dog who can play an instrument. It's like I really want it to happen.
My name is Melissa, and this is my dog Laika, and she strums the guitar.
A guitar-playing dog, yes. Simon.
Are you serious? In my mind, I'm imagining the album sleeve and booking this dog. That dog does not play the guitar. I was really disappointed, but I will find it one day. I will die trying.
Coming next, he might not have taken a dog to the top of the charts yet, but when it comes to talent shows, he's the man with the Midas touch. We'll chart the rise and rise of Simon Cowell.
Onto the scene come this character which you actually love to hate. Although you hated him, you always agreed with what he said.
I really love him. Like, I agree with him 100% of the time.
Sale of the century.
Our second challenger is a record company director from London. He enjoys watching motor racing and is a keen go-kart racer. Please welcome Simon Cowell.
Hello, Simon.
22 years ago, an unknown contestant appeared on a television game show.
Name the doll who celebrated her 30th birthday in 1989. Simon.
Barbie.
Barbie. I bet you got a Barbie doll.
One or two.
Little did we know that the man who walked away with the Evening Star Prize would go on to earn far greater riches from TV shows in the future. In the process, he would become the most powerful man on television.
Let's go shopping. Let's do that.
Over the past decade, Simon Philip Cowell has come to represent the global power of the TV talent show.
Whether you like him or not, his track record is incredible.
He's taken a concept of the talent show and turned it into a global phenomenon.
Behind that big hair, that big head, he's got a great instinct.
Nowadays, everyone's got an opinion on Simon Cowell. But how did he become one of the most recognisable faces on our screens? What's the real Simon like?
If I had to say what Simon was like, really, in a few words.
Someone here's fishing for compliments, aren't they?
Straight speaking.
He's loyal, he's trustworthy.
Real. He's very real.
What you see is what you get.
It really surprised me, like, how funny he was.
Very bright.
I like you.
I don't think I thought he was very bright when I first met him.
Honestly?
Simon's ego is sort of stratospheric. It doesn't really belong on this planet.
Simon sent a present to every judge, and it was a picture of himself, and he signed it.
He's always thought he dominated the world.
Simon Cowell's a nightmare to work with. In a good way. He's a perfectionist. He's a workaholic.
Oh, another good day.
With all the money he has, and the lifestyle, and the private jets.
Have you seen the size of that stretch? Unbelievable.
He likes things simple. He likes things plain.
He really is a guy that likes fish and chips, one beer.
Cheers.
Frank Sinatra. You know, he's Mr. Middle of the Road.
By the mid-90s, Simon Cowell had established himself as one of the top talent spotters in the music industry, signing boy bands like Five.
Simon was always a good A&R man. He always sold records. They may not have been credible, but they were always successful.
Even before his TV days, Cowell recognised the power of television in selling records and found chart success with the unlikeliest of acts, including puppets Zig and Zag. And in 1995, it was another TV double act who would deliver him his biggest ever hit.
My love. Robson and Jerome were in a very successful TV drama called Soldier Soldier.
You all right?
Yeah.
You?
He saw an opportunity there. They performed on the show, and he knew the show was getting huge ratings, and that was it.
What he recognised was that television made stars. It made a fortune with Robson and Jerome. And then what he did was, he decided, I'm going to make television work for me.
In 2000, Cowell had turned down the chance to be on the Pop Stars judging panel, but it inspired him to make the move into television himself.
Because the Pop Stars was successful, we had to kind of get it off the air quick, because my competitors had the recording rights and it was actually making me feel sick.
He joined forces with former Spice Girls manager Simon Fuller, and Pop Idol was born.
I thought if Pop Stars was popular, this is going to be better, this is going to be popular. I didn't think how popular.
In late 2001, Simon Cowell made his primetime debut.
What, Simon? It wasn't very good, actually.
And his turn of phrase had viewers hooked.
Without being unkind, you will never in a billion years be a pop star.
I've been auditioning singers all my life, so we just wanted to make sure that it was as real as possible.
If the show was called I Can't Sing Idol, you'd be in the top 10.
We turned up to the audition rooms and watched him in action.
How can I improve my voice? How can I?
Pray for a miracle.
And we were kind of open-mouthed about how rude and, well, and brutally honest he was being.
You work in a pizza restaurant. That was the equivalent of musical food poisoning. Absolutely appalling.
Which aspect particularly?
The beginning, middle and the end.
Onto the scene come this character which you actually love to hate. Although you hated him, you always agreed with what he said.
It was just ghastly. Really ghastly. Actually, that's one of my favourite songs of all time. Not anymore.
I definitely went in with a sense of humour, particularly me and Pete.
I don't think I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and think, God, that girl was amazing.
We found the whole thing hysterical. The contestants didn't, though.
Ben, you gave it your best shot. I thought he took it quite well.
We all recognise the fact that actually Simon's really, really good at this. And he's really good at it because he knows what he's talking about.
What about entertaining people?
How about the word talent? Goodbye.
Simon's character evolved very, very rapidly. I mean, he became a star pretty well overnight.
What are you doing over there, you idiot?
I'm just being Simon Cowell.
We had a panto baddie with his high-waisted trousers and his little G.I. Joe haircut.
In 2002, Pop Idol headed to America, but Simon was initially reluctant to join it.
We had to persuade Simon Cowell to come to America. He really was wavering. I don't know, I'm not sure we'll be successful.
The American market's very difficult to crack, so I thought there's a very, very good chance this isn't going to work.
People are getting excited. Just me who isn't.
Despite the doubts, American Idol was launched with its British star taking centre stage.
That was extraordinary.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, extraordinarily bad. Your audition was horrendous.
Horrendous?
Horrendous with a capital H.
America had never had honesty before like that.
Amanda, that was absolutely horrible.
Oh.
Just awful.
He would just go, "That's the worst thing I've ever seen." And of course in America it was like, "You can't say that."
Imagine a bag with 9 cats in dropped in boiling water.
Okay. Can I hit him for you?
Paula Abdul used to hit him, seriously hit him, every day if he said anything rude to somebody.
Hit him. I didn't say that, son.
She says, "What did you just say?" She told them they're rubbish. Why? You can't do this in America. Yes, I can. And I will.
Shut up!
On the first season in New York, I think I'd criticised somebody, and then the producers didn't tell me until the following day. His family came back with him later on with baseball bats.
Right on.
Then somebody else turned up with machine guns, and I thought, I've got to be a little bit more careful here, I think.
That British judge that's on the end, he's an ass, and he can kiss mine.
Over the next 8 series, America warmed to Simon's brutal honesty, making him one of the most popular faces on TV.
I really love him. Like, I agree with him 100% of the time.
He tells the truth. Yeah, I like it. He says it how it is.
Simon is probably the best talent show judge in the world. Do you think?
Yeah.
I think...
Let's have a look at your teeth. They were gritted when he said that.
Simon Cowell's on-screen persona had made him a global star. His next move would see him create shows that would sell around the world.
Simon's greatest legacy will be he brought back Saturday night entertainment to the masses.
He's always had this amazing ability to know what the public like and want. And, you know, you can't manufacture that. He just knows.
It was outstanding.
And that's what makes him a great TV producer. And that's why there's only one Simon Cowell.
I think as a Brit, the most pride you take is the fact that, you know, these are shows made in Britain which are now all over the world. That was always the dream. You could have these shows everywhere, then you've done your job.
Coming next, we find out how some of the talent show's worst auditions have entertained the millions.
I believe I can cry. I can't believe someone can get up in the morning and look in the mirror and go, I could win this.
But is it right to give everyone their moment of fame?
That they are being delivered up for the absolute purpose of the audience laughing at them.
Where's the love? Where's the love?
Ever since talent shows began, we've seen thousands of acts trying to turn their dreams of fame into reality. Many of them entertain millions with their moment in the spotlight, though not always for the reasons they intended.
We love bad auditions because of the cringe factor. I mean, it is that thing where You're watching at home thinking, how can they do that?
That's
No one can deny that they love the bad auditions. I love the bad auditions. That used to be like my favourite part.
And much more than this, I did it my way.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was very good.
I like them to be really good or really bad, because if they're really bad, they make you laugh.
In the early days of talent shows, the open auditions weren't filmed, and only the best acts were picked to go on the show. Well, that was the theory anyway. As we've already seen, new faces introduced us to the judging panel, and producers soon realised that the more unusual performances could make an entertaining watch.
It's like Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. I've never seen anything quite like that before.
I have no doubt that the producers, out of the 7 acts that we put on every week, that they put 1 or 2 on that they knew that the panel would have to get stuck into. They weren't necessarily bad, they just shouldn't have been there in the first place.
There's not much of an act there, really. I mean, what he did was very pleasant, but I can't see it being a great success story for the future.
When the new wave of talent shows arrived in the 21st century, modern technology meant that shows like Popstars and Pop Idol could take cameras out on the road and thereby expose the audition process, warts and all.
We kind of recognised that there was something really entertaining about some of the people that came to audition.
Once I ran to you.
Not just because they were bad, but just because they were interesting characters that just really couldn't sing very well.
That's not nearly all tainted love.
Daniel, you are one of the worst singers I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, but you think everyone's terrible.
No. I can't believe some of them get up in the morning when they're brushing their teeth and look in the mirror and go, I could win this.
Bad auditions are undoubtedly a popular part of the talent show story. But should they be on television in the first place?
A talent show is supposed to find talent, and it does find talent, and it does weed it out. But when X Factor put the auditions into a theatre in front of a live audience instead of just in a room somewhere with the judges, that to me is going back to the days of the Christians and the Lions and the old bear baiting or what have you.
Looking out across the nighttime.
That they are being delivered up for the absolute purpose of the audience laughing at them, the audience sneering at them.
Where's the love? Where's the love? So much negativity in this room is unreal.
I can say that's terrible, and I can say that till I'm blue in the face, but if you put that on a screen in front of me, I'll laugh too.
A lot of people think we exploit people on the show, but I mean, we don't force these people to queue up outside. It's their choice to go for the X Factor, and we just put them on the TV.
And through it all, she offers me protection. And I love it.
My view of all the bad acts is that they get their moment of fame. It's the Andy Warhol, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes syndrome.
You caught me open.
I've not met many who've ever regretted it, really. Because they may make a fool of themselves, but they go down their pub the following weekend and they're superstars.
I've been wearing this glass for everyone to see.
But what happens when you don't think you're as bad as the panel think you are?
Once you have auditioned, you are at the mercy of the producers of that show, because if you've done something horrendous and bad or funny or dreadful, it's like, yes, we'll have that bit in.
Della, sing them a song, Della.
Sing them a song, Della. I am not a number, I'm a human being.
People get very, very emotional and heated and wound up.
You said out there, anyone else who sings Anastasia, you did them, and I want to see you do it to me.
Obviously, we've just let the cameras roll and people have said whatever they've said.
While the likes of Tony Hatch and Mickey Most dished out criticism without fear of any comeback, the modern-day audition process encourages the contestants to answer back.
Bite me.
There was a guy on Pop Idol, I think it was Series 2, who auditioned.
I could see here, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can turn.
He thought he was going to win it, so they slaughtered him.
You ain't flying, mate.
No, but come on, you have to. It's up to the people. They should decide at the end of the day. If you just get me through the next round, and then they kick me off, it doesn't really matter.
With respect, our audience can actually hear.
And he came out, and we said, "Are you all right? How did that go?" And he went,
"No,
hey?
they were too."
Right? And we'd never heard that kind of language before.
All right. You can't say those words on ITV1 on a Saturday night.
And since then, we've seen a lot more kick-offs, but he was the first one to come out and really tell us exactly how he felt.
Yeah. I love the fact that he got them all.
That's possibly my funniest one.
The X Factor took things to new extremes when we saw family members entering the judging room too. And no one took on the judges better than pensioner Edna Moore.
There was nobody funnier than Edna. You know, she turned up with her daughter-in-law. They both believed they were going to walk out of there with a record contract.
I'm with you once more, under the stars.
While I was watching Lorraine's audition, I'd one eye on the judges, Simon. When he put his head on his arms, I thought, you ignorant person.
Simon?
What have I done?
You want to alter your ways. I just thought, right, he deserves telling, which somebody should have done long before me.
You think you're better than anybody.
I think you was very ignorant. Yes, you was ignorant, Simon.
Not to be defeated, Edna got a response rarely heard from the most powerful man on television.
Sorry.
I'm not rude, ordinarily. Well, perhaps I am sometimes.
It's a far cry from the days of opportunity knocks, when performers lacking in talent were kept from our TV screens for fear of ridicule.
Thank you.
Some say it's all gone too far.
I swear it's some scumbag from the block. No.
Don't come in my space.
Shut up, you silly.
What would Hughie Green make of it all?
That is show business.
But for millions of viewers, the bad auditions remain a guilty pleasure for public and stars alike.
We're having a gangbang against the wall.
One of probably the most hilarious moments was Ant and Seb singing Mysterious Girl. Move your body close to mine.
Come on, move your body. Come on, move your body.
No doubt you look so fine. Whoa. Girl, I wanna make you mine.
Yeah, come on.
Just let me be with a woman that I love.
A woman that I love.
That woman, I think called Donna, yeah, she was called Donna. And she sung that Madonna song.
In the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like prayer. You know I'll take you there.
That couple that came out singing If I Were a Boy. That was hilarious. They compared themselves to Beyonce and Jay-Z. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is awful. How dare you compare yourself to Beyonce or Jay-Z?
So who's responsible for the worst ever audition on a talent show? If you believe Simon Cowell, it's this man. But the viewers loved him anyway.
Hello. What's your name?
Robert Unwin.
And what do you do?
I work in a chicken factory.
Good.
I was really nervous, but then, I just started singing to him.
Ready?
And then I seen how they were reacting. Louis got me to sing loads of other songs.
My favourite one's Aqua, Barbie Girl.
Hiya, Barbie. Hi, Dad. Do you want to go for a ride? Jump in. Jump in.
When he walked in and sang Barbie Girl, you kind of go, is this real? Is it actually real?
Push my hair, undress me everywhere.
Everyone was just kind of thinking, okay, did he do that for a bet, or that can't be serious?
No, I'm not the best singer in the world. I thought it was more like the fun factor, not the X Factor, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I love you, Ken.
All right. Is this a joke?
No.
Robert, I can honestly say you are the worst singer I've ever heard in my life.
Thank
Were you trying
It's not
to...
thank you. You are absolutely useless.
It's nice to think that even after I'm gone, my sort of legend will carry on. If it makes someone that's sad smile, then that's part of it, really.
Bye-bye. Bless him.
God help him.
Next time on The Talent Show Story.
Huey Green! He was the godfather of talent shows.
For God's sake, Britain, wake up!
This was Huey Green at his very worst.
Welcome to the X Factor. Your final starts right here.
It's you hosting a party, and therefore you've got to make sure, metaphorically, everyone's got a drink.
What the bloody hell was that?
Jedward will be remembered for crazy hair, crazy performances, crazy everything.
Good night and bless you. Thank you very much.